And you know what you tell them? Say it's three types of people. It's people from around the way. It's people that's in the way. And what else? It's people that make a way, big motion.
I lost a bag and got a bigger bag. I lost a friend and got a realer friend. Thought I lost a plug, he was really just a middleman. Things just be tests, like the universe tests you with things.
And he spoke about something very interesting idea. What if God is actually water? Think about it for us.
What if water is God?
Then that would mean God is both in us and all around us. That God is both above and below us. Why a woman's water breaks when we're born.
But there's more. We often say that God is everything. Well, if that's true, then everything around us would be what? Water. There's water in the air even though we can't see it. There's water inside you, inside me, and in every living thing. Now consider places where water is scarce, like deserts or wastelands. What do you usually find there? Death, because of the lack of water, and it's scorching, like hell. Here's something else. In the Bible, when Jesus was tempted by the devil, where was he? In the desert. He was searching for water.
You heard of the theory about people who...
That's crazy. What y'all think about that one? Water is the key to life, so I could hold some parallels.
play video games?
No.
So you know how parents always say don't play video games or you can only play on the weekends?
Yeah, I feel like every kid has some kind of restriction.
Right, but what if I told you every single parent and every single teacher was wrong?
Well, you had some passion behind that one.
Yeah, so I watched a TED Talk and there are theories that actually prove video games are healthy for you.
Oh, here we go.
So it's been proven that anyone who plays games like first-person shooters have better reaction time, problem-solving skills, and awareness. And in a study, a group of college kids took a test and were split into two groups. One group played the video game Portal 2 for 8 hours, and another group did academic exercises for 8 hours. They then took the test again, and the Portal 2 players increased their scores by 80% when compared to the academic exercise group.
Wait, so what you're saying is that the video games actually help the students more than the academic exercises?
Exactly. There was also a study done on who was better at flying military-grade drones, an untrained gamer or a trained US pilot. And it was found that the untrained gamer was just as good as the trained US pilot.
Now nobody could say video games are bad.
So it's been proven that anyone who plays games like first-person shooters have better reaction time, problem-solving skills, and awareness.
That's interesting. It makes sense with flight simulators, racing simulators, all games in a way. I think it just really boils down to the fact that you could keep repeating, fixing your mistakes.
This real-life story is what the hit TV series Stranger Things was based on. Did you know that Stranger Things was originally supposed to be called Montauk? Or that real experiments were conducted at Camp Hero or Montauk Air Force Station in Montauk, New York? Stories about the Montauk Project have circulated since the 80s after residents started reporting strange dreams and headaches after a giant radar array was set up at the facility. According to a whistleblower, Preston Nichols, the facility was set up to explore psychological warfare techniques, which included teleportation, mind control, and time travel. However, it was only after the success of the 1943 Philadelphia experiment, Preston claimed that a real doorway to another dimension was opened up, and something else, or someone else, came through. This eventually caused the place to be shut down. That is why it is said that
Now, question is, what came through? That entity affecting our world currently, or is the guy just insane?
A former CIA operative named Andrew Bustamante. He's one of about 10 people that all conveniently were ex-CIA people, all going on to every major podcast. Everything about Andrew Bustamante is a public persona to get people to think a certain way about him and therefore think a certain way about the CIA. He says something also on Twitter that I think got deleted, but somebody screenshot it, that is just wild. Someone asked him the question, does the CIA use child prostitution to control assets? And he answers, I plead the fifth. The things we use to control assets are unsettling enough without going into details.
That's a scary fucking answer. Yeah.
Yeah. So know that this is the guy you're talking to on these podcasts, a guy that knows that the government uses child prostitution to get what they want and then tries to sell you the fucking CIA.
Yeah. Holy fuck.
Did this guy just build a machine that...
I wouldn't be surprised that they do that. get sticky out here. You know, they'll make you vulnerable in any type of way to leverage.
Generates infinite energy in his own garage? No, that's impossible, according to the first and second law of thermodynamics. Remember, the greatest innovations are made by those who dare question the facts. Well, that's just misinformation. This free energy wheel uses bottles whose water is continually poured down by gravity to endlessly spin the wheel. And this isn't the first time someone came up with this. In 1159 AD, an Indian mathematician named Bhaskara the Learned came up with a concept for this exact design, Bhaskara's wheel. It had curved reservoirs filled with mercury instead of water, but based on the same principle. He reasoned that as the wheel spun, the displacement of mercury would flow to the bottom of each reservoir in such a way that one side of the wheel would be perpetually heavier than the other, the imbalance causing it to spin forever. This is one of the first ever designs for a perpetual motion engine, a device that can do some sort of work forever without external energy applied, like a windmill producing its own breeze, or a light bulb powering its own solar panels, a magnet attached to a car pulling itself, or this man pushing a truck from inside the trunk. I think you can see why this wouldn't work. The physics behind it show that the moving parts that make one side of the wheel heavier also shifts the center of mass of the wheel downwards. What that means is it'll spin for a bit and then just swing back and forth until coming to a complete stop in practice. The reason it can't go on forever is due to the first two laws of thermodynamics. The first law is energy conservation. Energy can't be created or destroyed. And in a perfect world, if we can just put 100% of the energy a device produces back into running itself, this should be possible, right? That's where the second law stops us, entropy, which states that energy tends to spread out and dissipate in many different forms like waste, friction, or heat as time goes on. So as the wheel moves through gravitational force, it experiences air resistance, friction, and waste heat, energy that is not put back into the gravitational force that is running the wheel and hence dissipates over time. It's why Newton's cradle doesn't go on forever, and why this wheel doesn't work. He even admits in his video that he had a battery in the wheel that kept it spinning. It's fake. But are there other designs for infinite energy engines out there that have been suppressed from the public? Inventors have tried over the generations to come up with the perfect perpetual motion machine, several variations of the original wheel, and even other creative ideas. And some of them actually kinda work. The first one ever made predates even Bhaskara, with Greek mathematician Archimedes in 200 BC, who discovered the displacement of water in his bathtub as he went inside it, allegedly inventing the word eureka at the same time. Obvious today, but this was a huge discovery back then, the Archimedes principle, which they tried to use to build the first ever perpetual motion engine in history. The Archimedes sphere was a round chamber with water and a buoyant ball attached to a metal rod inside. The metal rod drags the ball down and the ball pushes itself out of the water from buoyancy. I won't bore you with the math, but the calculations show that you could just spin this once and it'll go on forever due to Archimedes' principle. And in theory, it should, if it wasn't for pesky friction of the water on the glass and the waste heat of the spinning rod getting in the way. That leave the device as waste energy until it comes to a complete stop. But science didn't give up. We're gonna find a way to make this perpetual motion engine if it's the last thing we do. Like everyone's favorite mad scientist Nikola Tesla, who actually patented an unlimited energy machine in 1901 called the apparatus for the utilization of radiant energy, made from an antenna that you can make from plywood, a sheet of foil, copper wires, and a capacitor to store the energy. The antenna should be placed up high, like on a roof, connected to the capacitor and grounded. The capacitor should charge up slowly from the luminiferous ether, electromagnetic waves from solar radiation, cosmic rays, and earth magnetic poles. And it works, confirmed by many tests done online. It technically uses external energy to power itself, so not exactly perpetual, but did we just solve our world's energy crisis? Yeah, but you'd need a whole day of power just to charge your phone with an antenna the size of a football field. So not practical whatsoever, as we'd run out of space fast, but still cool, we're making progress. More recently, in 2021, German scientists demonstrated the use of what they called time crystals, a microscopic system of quantum particles that change state over time and can in fact theoretically go on like this forever. They don't generate energy, but also don't lose any either from expected friction or heat, which is huge for an object doing work. The main obstacle to perpetual motion were systems losing energy when doing work over time. This doesn't. They're still figuring it out, but oh, we're so close. We're gonna make this infinite energy machine, I tell ya. Because there's something in nature that actually does appear to violate the conservation of energy: black holes. This scientific paper states that the expansion of the universe can make certain black holes expand faster than the Hawking radiation they produce that shrinks them. I know, it took me a while to wrap my head around that. In theory, this process gains more energy than it loses, so if we could just take a black hole and stick it into an engine, that might work. Who knows, maybe we'll find new exotic forms of matter in the future that could bend the rules of perpetual motion to finally crack the code. Or maybe we already have. have. Enter zero-point energy, the suspected technology behind UFOs that provides seemingly unlimited energy, moves objects outside the realm of known physics, travels faster than light, and even through time. Powered by quantum fluctuations in space-time, particles that act like waves which blink in and out of existence, another highly suppressed field of research. Keyword here, quantum, because quantum can bend the laws of thermodynamics while still respecting them and doesn't need to obey classical physics. I'll go into this very soon, because zero-point energy isn't just game-changing, it's reality-changing.
You might.
Now, Dr. Greer, he talked about 0-point energy, a lot of his stuff, and how U.S. government already knew about that for, I think, could be wrong, 60s. It have been earlier on, but a lot of people was creating these little black boxes, they houses, and it was able to so-called give infinite energy from 0 point. I don't know, man. He could be one of them guys that's just saying things he heard, made it sound good, but it's interesting if we do have that type of technology out there. Like, everybody can have light then.
Not want to eat Oreos anymore. We all know and love Oreo cookies for its signature taste. But if you look closely at an Oreo cookie, you'll notice that there are symbols on top of it that might carry a different meaning. Well, you see, that double-cross eternal symbol actually represents the Leviathan symbol in the satanic realm. The word Oreos originates from the ancient Greek and Egyptian term Aureus, which just happened to be the Egyptian serpent that people used to worship. Furthermore, it was reported that the Oreo company had built a super-secret doomsday bunker in Norway, where they claimed to house the formula for Oreo. But who knows what is really being hidden down there? It may be a stretch, but just how like Christians partake in the body of Christ, this might be the satanic way of fooling the world into a satanic ritual. But all people can say is,
That would be insane. I would think, like, we all partake in a ritual.
What is some dark shit going on around the world right now that the public probably doesn't know about? Humanity has wiped out 60% of animal populations since 1970. Saudi Arabia sentencing to death people who refuse to move out of their homes so that they can build Neom, their new megacity. And their relatives being sentenced to multiple decades of prison time just for protesting or merely posting their support to the cause on social media. Bacterial resistance to antibiotics is at an alarming level. There has already been instances of pan-antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. This can throw us back to the pre-antibiotic era, which will effectively mean, catch an infection and die. In Africa there is a very real and very extensive slave trade going on right now, to say nothing of the other probably 40 million living in bondage. Women going missing from Indian reservations across some of the U.S. Many are young women and probably being used for sex trafficking. There are some interesting podcasts on the subject. 70% of the world's chocolate comes from West Africa. An estimated 1.5 million child slaves are engaged in chocolate production in Ghana and the Ivory Coast, alone, not counting Nigeria and Cameroon.
Did you know peeing in...
That is crazy. All that is crazy. Now, the one about the natives on the reservation, do y'all think they doing that because, like, they're like, no, I don't even know. Are they like a real small group of, I don't know this, if they a small group, like, so they like special, no disrespect. That's crazy. That's crazy. There's probably some weirdos out there that like stuff like that. That's weird as hell if that's true. That's weird as hell. I hope, somebody doing something about that.
The shower is healthy. Pee contains something called urea, and when you pee in the shower, obviously it goes down to your feet, and it can actually help or prevent athlete's foot, which is kind of a common infection for my athletes out there. Urine contains something called urea. It's found in a lot of skincare products, and it's overall just good for your skin and killing bacteria. So next time you're taking a shower and you want to pee in the shower, go for it.
Well, damn.
I think they said Pacquiao used to drink his piss. I'm not sure. No disrespect. I'm not sure. Not saying it's a fact. But I thought they said Pacquiao was drinking his piss. Manny Pacquiao from the Philippines, boxer.
Way down. And it was so slow that you could almost see the air moving. Then you saw the driver take a gun and go like this and shoot Kennedy, and the bullet comes out of the gun this slow, very, very, very slow, and it hits Kennedy in the head, and you see everything flying out of his head. Appears to be.
Just for me, when it comes to stuff like that, just keep thinking about the Umbrella Academy. Like, it's probably a Reginald situation, with JFK. Said, hey, it's what I'm gonna do. And a guy that was like Reginald, or a group that was like Reginald, if y'all know it, he wasn't going for when what was it, the 12 or something, I forgot the group name. But he was helping them. And he said, oh no, y'all wanna try to threaten me? Tell me something? Oh yeah, he took off his mask and he was an alien and he got busy. So it was just one of them type of situations that is, hey, you never know. You never know who he could piss off that say, yeah, we got something for you.
Watch his eyes. Watch his eyes.
If he just stood up, come here, ran off in the was with his woman. That had to be flop. But no, that's probably like an optical illusion.
Watch his eyes.
That's your listen, video. Both like watch his eyes. But no, that's great. Like I say, a lot of these videos I barely look at. Like, I will literally either get the videos from somebody I know that helps send stuff that they see, or I literally, like I say, I look, be like, oh, that seems interesting. See like 5 seconds, and I just leave it. So a lot of times it get hard because it's a lot of times like volume will fluctuate. If I mess with the volume and it ain't just right, it's a lot of factors to play. So, like somebody came for me earlier this morning. Like, I'm gonna block your ass. I'm gonna get you up out of there because I ain't got time for that. Be honest with you, because we not in person, and if you talking too crazy to me, I'm gonna walk away or I'm gonna challenge you to something. We gonna do something about this because you don't shut up. You're not gonna be just. I'm gonna respect you. I don't be with all that. I'm not saying I'm the toughest. Not going. I'm just not going. Like, see, life been so hard to me, bro. If God ain't moving right, I'm gonna look. Hey, what's pop? I don't mean that in all due respect. I'm just a different type of guy. I'm very respectful. Very respectful. I'm gonna give respect, but I'm only gonna tolerate so much. It's just me. I never been one that I seen people just go along with it. Maybe that's why I'm a black sheep in certain people. I'm not gonna go along with it. I'm not. Man, if you bad to me, you cause me to get up outside of myself, oh, I'm gone. Because I'm not going to prison for nobody and I'm not dying over no dumb stuff. So please come with some respect. If you see something that's wrong, give me some good. I'm open to criticism. Even if it hurt my feelings, like, hey man, this one ain't it. Some people told me that. Cool. And I'm gonna try my best to get the videos right. Please come with some respect. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like this. Regardless if it's phone, internet, if I'm wrong, I'm gonna apologize. I come a little off, I'm gonna apologize. But damn, if that's not what you could do, my channel ain't for you. Bye-bye.
He was the one who made us. You'll be the
This was one of my joints back in the day. At first I disliked it, but I loved it. It grew on the brother. I think I remember seeing him. I just never paid attention. You know what I mean? It was like one of them.
Into conspiracy theories, or if it's midnight and you just want to be astonished, I just found a theory on Reddit that's about to blow your fucking mind. I'm sorry if my eyes are red or if they get red throughout the video. I honestly had to smoke to calm down because this theory really made me freak out. So this really isn't a theory. This is something that's actually going to take place within the next 10 to 15 years. But in a nutshell, the technological singularity is the point in time in which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable change in humanity and in human civilization. This is basically...
Now, real quick, Jess, do y'all think we could have been there already, but they've been withholding this technology, but they know as time progressed, you only could keep recycling the same idea before people be like, hey, what the F is this? That's what they've been doing with a lot of stuff. Like, you gotta think the microwave never changed. Like, shouldn't we have the Spy Kids microwave? You know, the original Spy Kids for those in the early 2000s where they put the little, it was like a card and it came out with the burger and the fries. It was just like that. So my question is, we already been there? And if so, do y'all agree or do y'all disagree? Like, nah, we wouldn't be there. It's gonna take some time. Let me know your thoughts down below.
The point of no return with artificial intelligence and technology, or as I see it, confrontation with AI, or the birth of artificial consciousness. The technological singularity is something that's been hypothesized, yet Fortune 500 companies are preparing and investing in this and even started their own university. Google, Nokia, Cisco, and Boeing all invested and funded the Singularity University, which got over $1 billion in funding. Not to mention the acceptance rate at this university is only like specific individuals and organizations. Yeah, their acceptance rate is fewer than 3%. But their whole mission is about educating these individuals and organizations about navigating technological change. But a big reason why this could be an issue for us is with this technological big bang, AI could become a lot more intelligent than it already is. I mean, a lot bigger than we can humanly comprehend. Or for even worst case scenario, they could revolt against us. The sad part is that the physical world is becoming largely irrelevant in the present day, which for humanity is a weakness because without technology, we don't even know how to live in our natural habitat. And if AI were to reach this point in intelligence, they would basically have control over everything we have and own, and our own creation will overrun us. However, if we were to find a way to become one with AI before this technological singularity, then the whole idea of a technological warfare is out the window. This means that our biological...
Hold on. Not necessarily. Because we got that chip in us like Elon. Why if they could do something to our bodies, they like, if we take over the body, they could control. Like they say we only use 10%. Why if they figure out how to use the whole 100%, they could alter us, you know, and really take control of our vessels like we could never have. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. Like, it might sound good, like we might not team up, they might literally replace us. Override, it's over with.
Bodies will no longer be needed and will become sentient software programs who are spread across different data centers for storage. AI would ensure our safety and comfort and prevent us from damaging, the Earth more than we already have. But Earth would basically just become one huge nature reserve where evolution could continue without the disruption of humanity. After the technological singularity, AI would have reached a point to where it is conscious enough to make repairs for itself and teach itself. So the need for humans to manage and upkeep would just be unnecessary, as this would be the birth of an artificial awareness, as well as a consciousness far more beyond and complex than the human mind. This theory was first introduced in the 20th century by John von Neumann, who helped create one of the first programmed computers. The predicted singularity of 2045 could be a lot sooner in the mid-2030s or the end of the 2020s. But what are you guys' thoughts and opinions on this theory? Like, it's crazy.
I just saw this on Twitter and it just reminded me of like the conspiracy theory or running joke that Beyonce kidnapped Sia so Sia could write more songs for her or something like that. Like, where did that even originate or come from? Like, this tweet is fake as hell, by the way. And this tweet is too, like, people were really bored in their rooms. Beyonce can never catch a break.
I want to hear some weird stuff about frequencies.
Yeah.
Robert Monroe. This guy, he figured out the science.
My bad. I ain't even mean to put that one in there. I saw it was stupid. It was just, that was an accident. I thought I took that out.
To use certain frequencies to control out-of-body experiences. But what's creepy,
he would speak to entities
that would teach him how to use frequencies.
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla also talked about out-of-body experiences and learning from entities. Albert Einstein, like all these brilliant people talked about how they learned stuff while they slept. But what's creepy, the CIA bought his patent to start the Project Stargate, which is the people that do remote viewing. He said you can travel across the universe into different dimensions. You can do whatever you want. But people always talk about there's always an entity that is showing them around and teaching them stuff. He perceived these entities as versions of yourself from different timelines. He's like, when you die, you have the option to go wherever you want. This is what he's being taught by this entity. And he's like, you can be your own god. And it's like,
Heard that before.
red flag. So it's like the same concept as taking DMT. Like, I think you really are access.
Now, I mean, the way, think about when we in heaven, what they say in the great book. They say we could, like, whatever our imagination rates, do whatever. You want some Kool-Aid, you can have it. You want to fly, you could do it. You know, within, I'm pretty sure, reason, of course, but you could do it. If you want to conjure fire from your hand, and long as you don't probably hurt nobody, I don't think nobody gonna care, you know? Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I thought. Something like that. I don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that. And two, why, like, every story I hear, it's like somebody pop up like, hey, like they see a victim. They like, oh, we got this one. It's a new guy to the scene. The mess.
Spiritual world, you know, and they probably should not belong there.
How do you think T.D. Jakes was at Puff Daddy's birthday party?
That's kind of strange.
I mean, you know, do you remember when Bernie Mac played the minister in Friday?
Yes.
That's how I feel about T.D. Jakes. Like, that's how I see. Oh, Miss Parker, come to pray. But for him to be at a Diddy party, I don't know. Like, I feel the same way about that as I feel about when Tyler Perry came to his church and laid hands on him and he caught the Holy Spirit from Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is the bishop of what? Like, I've never, like, and I cut a check for $100 and I'm gonna lay my hands on your bishop. And he said, and then the bishop said, it's on the fucking internet. He's doing all of this, right? And then there's a woman on the dais screaming, push the baby out. Birth that baby. I'm like, what? Are we a church? If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be two reasons. Money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties. Money and sex.
I do think if you like some, like whatever he is, pastor, he shouldn't not be there. That's not a place. Guy is kind of, I really dislike judge because you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't have all seeing eye to see stuff. I don't know, you know. All I can do is when the evidence presents itself. And usually it's visual evidence or some type of electronic paper trail. Something, you know, to say something about somebody. So I don't really know, but I've heard some strange things about dude. The fact that he do all this under God, kind of scary. That's one of my hard times with church. I just feel like it's a lot of devils and demons that masquerade in the churches now. It's not authentic. I get it. The church need money to keep itself going. That makes sense. That's when the donations come from. But some of these people, how you gonna sit up here and tell me about God? You so blinged out. You see what I'm saying? I just don't. Do you really care, or is it about the money? That's my question. You really speaking God's word, and then God gonna be like, man, you knew it was something off right there. I don't want him to say, because I say that to me. And you have free will. You was very capable to discern what was going on, and you didn't.
I hope it was for money.
Charitable contribution.
I hope it was for money, because arguing about who's going to put the strap on is
Oh, Jesus, there
be
for
a
me.
very uncomfortable situation.
Need a lawyer.
We're going to pray on it. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
Freaky, look at
Smoky Mountains aren't just home to black bear. This family learned that the feral people of Appalachia do exist. This family had been renting vacation homes and cabins for years. They were no stranger to the Smoky Mountains or the Cherokee, North Carolina, or Maggie Valley area, but this one was different. This lady described this cabin to sit atop of a mountain between Maggie Valley and Cherokee, North Carolina, and it was beautiful. There were other homes on the mountain, but none of them were close together. Their first day there, they make their way up the windy gravel road atop of this mountain where the cabin is. They go in, unpack, get settled in, and then her son comes across a book that the owner had left in the cabin. This little book basically just gave information about the cabin and the area, attractions, things to do and see. But one thing that did stick out, there were driveway sensors when you first pull into the driveway of the cabin, and then at the far end, where it's actually a dead end where the driveway ends, there are sensors on that end as well. But what made it a little extra creepy, the owner had wrote, these sensors are here to alert you of anything passing by. They thought this was a little odd because you have to remember they're on top of this giant mountain. No cabins are close by. There are other ones on the mountain, but you have a sensor when you enter the driveway pulling into the home, and sensors on a dead end part of the driveway where there would be no cars. And she said there's no way that cars could pass by the house without them knowing it anyway. They thought it was odd, but they just shook it off. Nothing strange happened that first night or the next day, but the next night they were all gathered around the fire pit. She and her husband, her son, his wife, and their dogs, just enjoying the nature, the scenery. And she said just out of nowhere, she, her husband, and their dogs all picked up on this putrid, horrible smell. The wind shifted before her son and daughter-in-law could actually smell it, but she said that this smell was just absolutely terrible. It was horrendous. Just as this smell dissipated and went away, there was something thrown at the cabin and hit the side of it. This happened 2 or 3 times. There was nothing, no trees. She said that anything could have fallen from. She said something was intentionally thrown and hit their cabin at least 3 times or more. She did note that also earlier that day, the driveway sensors at the dead end part of the driveway were alarmed. They were triggered. Something set them off. And they checked and no one was there. There's no way anyone could have drove by their house without them knowing it anyway, but something triggered this alarm just a few hours prior. The following day, her son and daughter-in-law decided they were going to take a walk, and they decided to go up to where this sensor was on the far dead-end part of the driveway just to look at them. When they returned back to the cabin, they both said that no wildlife, no animal, no dog, no bear, anything could have set this sensor off unless it was a bipedal creature, something like a human, Bigfoot, or something else. A couple weeks go by and she's watching TV one night and comes across this show, and it's actually investigating reports of wild people or feral people that had been spotted in the exact same area where they stayed. The cabin was just a short drive to Soco Falls, and she said there had been reports from other people of wild people or feral people in this area. She didn't say it right out, but I think perhaps they believe that the owner knew something was in the mountains, wild people or something else. Considering how vast the Smoky Mountain National Park is, the Appalachian Mountains, we have no idea what's truly out there. If you've ever encountered any kind of feral person, a Bigfoot, anything paranormal in the Smoky or Appalachian Mountains, let me know in the comments. You guys have a great day.
Crazy. Like if that was me, boy, that's why I always say you gotta have weapons. Gotta know your laws when you're traveling state to state, but I think you gotta have weapons all times. Don't get it wrong. You don't need it, but if feeling danger for your life, I'd rather have a weapon than just had ease, because I ain't no cultivation. Well, that's a whole different situation. But I ain't no mixed martial artist and none of that. So it get real sticky out here. So I just sit up here and say, you know what, keep that tool on you. Respect everybody. You know, stay out the way and, you know, keep praying to the Lord, whatever that may be for you, you know, Jesus. You know, wonderful. Other guys, they wonderful too. No disrespect. Yeah, man, that's a crazy situation. Chilling, watching you. You won't even know. It gets so dark out there sometimes. Dark. But appreciate everybody for tuning in. Oh, hopefully you having a wonderful day. Catch y'all next time.